Hi, Rumbi.
Hey, Amruta. Super excited to be on the Devex World stage. It's also a first for me,
Right?
and very excited to speak to Minister Lawson, who is the Minister of Digital Economy and Transformation from Togo.
Yeah, same here.
Hi, Cina.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hello,
So,
everyone.
So, as some of you may know, Togo launched a digital cash transfer program that used artificial intelligence during the pandemic. The program, which is called Novisi, took 10 days to launch, or as Mr. Lawson, Sina would say, it took 10 days and 10 nights to launch. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the program and some of the key lessons that you learned from this process?
So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this program that is really dear to my heart and to lots of Togolese hearts, because when the pandemic started, we wanted to support the most vulnerable Togolese. And we knew that the poorest of our citizens did not necessarily have an internet connection. So we built a payment platform, a government to people direct cash transfer platform that would be entirely digital, and that didn't require people to have internet access because it was using USSD technology. It's a kind of short code. And so we built this platform in 10 days, and we launched the program. And the beauty of the program was that from registering onto the platform to receiving cash, it took less than 2 minutes. So in our country, it was the first time that the government announced subsidies and financial aid, and people would receive it straight away. You know, oftentimes in many countries, you have to wait for days, if not months, to receive the cash transfer. But then when you build so it was a payment platform, and we asked people to register onto this platform using their voters' IDs, because these were biometric ID. And so people would register using voters' ID, and based on where they were located, because through the voting database, we knew their voting bureaus, so we knew the neighborhoods where they lived. So based on where they were located, they would receive cash. And it's important because not all of Togo was. We didn't implement mobility restriction in all of Togo, so we were supporting only areas where we implemented mobility restriction. And what we also did that was really innovative is that we decided to give more money to women than men. So I think it's also something to say that we wanted to support households, so it was important, you know, that we acknowledge that the role of women within household, and so we wanted to give them more money. But the program was innovative not only because it used a digital cash, transfer platform, but also because we used artificial intelligence to prioritize beneficiaries. So very early on when we started, we didn't use artificial intelligence, but we started the program in April 2020. And at the time, we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to last. So very quickly, we started to think of that we needed maybe assistance in thinking through how to determine, who were the poorest individuals in Togo. So initially, when we did it, it was really using people's professions. So we had a list of professions, and if you were working in these professions, then you would receive financial aid, because the platform, the voting platform, had the professions of people, because when you register to have your voter's ID, you also give your profession. So that was the initial, methodology. But then we started to think that we needed to identify the poorest areas, the poorest neighborhoods within Togo. So we reached out to Berkeley. So actually, we reached out to Estelle Duflo, who is the Nobel Economy Prize winner, and she introduced us to IPA, Innovations for Poverty Actions, and to UC Berkeley. And we asked Berkeley to help us, identify the poorest neighborhoods in Togo, and they did so using satellite imagery and artificial intelligence. So we were able to map, we have 400 districts in Togo, we were able to map them from the poorest to the richest. Then the question was, okay, we know where the poorest individuals live. The next question is, who are the poorest individuals? And we used another algorithm, which was an algorithm that we coupled with CDRs, cold data records from mobile operators. And we were able to have the phone numbers of people who earned less than $1.20 per day. And so we received some funding through a US NGO, Give Directly, gave us $10 million to actually pay these individuals. So the whole of Novici, and Novici means solidarity, the whole of Novici program, we spent $34 million, but $10 million of this $34 million were given to us to just pay people who were identified through AI algorithms. And so we're very proud of it, because we can say that we're the only country in the world who has paid people just based on two algorithms, two AI algorithms. So we're very proud of it.
That's so great to hear, Cina. You know, I feel like we're living in this moment where there's a lot of talk about localization, but with this program, you've actually shown how it can be done in practice. So tell us a little bit about why it was so crucial to have this program being built in-house in Togo.
So I think Dr. Amadou Sarr earlier said something about the narrative, changing the narrative. I think that for us Africans, it's very important to change the narrative, because when we had this issue and the president of Togo reached out to the ministry that I head, the Ministry of Digital Economy, he said, I have an issue, I want to support the poorest Togolese, but while respecting, mobility restriction, how can we do it using technology? And we said, it's very easy, we can build this platform. And the platform was entirely built in-house. First of all, we didn't have the time to procure any market. You know that when you work for an administration, to just buy God knows what, it takes days, and if not months. So we didn't have that kind of time. But also when we sat down as a team and with the digital team that I have, and we said, okay, we have this problem. They said, Minister, we can do it. We can make it happen. So it was very important for them to be part of the solution, And so it's very, I'm talking, and I know that I have a lot of development, professionals in the room today. What I want to tell you is that we have to be part of the solution. We have to be, designing our own solutions and building our own platforms. So that's why it's so important, because the team came together, the team made it happen, and they were proud, and we are proud to do something for our country and to do it on our own.
That's fantastic, Cina. There are so many things that I like about this program. I like that you're putting women first, and I also like that it takes 120 seconds for you to get your money, which is something that sounds almost impossible in Africa. So I love those. But the tech is also very interesting. So like you said, there might be some development partners here listening, and I wanted to ask, how can other low-income countries and partners leverage this technology?
So a lot of countries reached out to us. And we said, okay, what we want to do, and it's a project, is for the Novici platform to become a digital public good. Because the president of Togo said, we want to share it with other countries in the world so that they can use it for cash transfer. But it's more than just a payment platform. It's a methodology, because when you use AI, we were one of the first countries to have data protection laws. When you use AI, it's very important to have the appropriate methodology to make sure that you do things right. And what I also want to say is that when I talk about methodology, when we built the platform and when we started to distribute cash, we hired an audit company, an independent auditing firm that audited us every single day during the program. And so that's why I also say that it's a methodology, because it's not because you use digital means that it's great, okay? It has to be done in a way that you set the standards for other projects in the future. So for us, we think that tech can be useful to do good. So when we implement tech, we also have to be extremely careful on how we do it, what we do, because we're setting examples for the future. So that's what I tell other countries when they reach out to us. I tell them, look, the platform, we're going to work hard to make it a public good, but it's not about distributing, cash. You want to make sure that the intended beneficiaries are the very ones who receive this cash. Otherwise, it's a payment platform, and then you send cash, but whomever gets it, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that the most vulnerable people of your population in a particular area are the ones who are receiving this money.
Great, Cina. One last question, if I could just slip that in. The program was sort of born in the pandemic. How are you going to use it going forward?
So this program has changed Togo forever, because the decision we took as a country was that in terms of social protection, we were going to use this payment platform for all social protection projects moving forward. And right now we have an ongoing project with the World Bank for social protection, and they're using the team leading this project is using the Novici platform. And it also helped us in terms of framing the issue of people by biometric ID to all of our citizens. We have another project like this, again with the World Bank, to identify all of our citizens starting at age 5. And the Novici project helped us a great deal, because people now understand the value of being identified.
Thank you so much, Cina. Sorry to cut you off, but unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward to following those projects, and we'll definitely be covering that.
Thank you.